Your foundation is doing such great work. It's really important because we see that there's a gap for some of the practical needs for patients and the rehab that you're providing. And it's almost like we need somebody to pull that together to bridge that gap.
Yeah, it's mad to think as though that the astrocytoma, it was there in the brain, the size of that.
Yeah.
And I had no headaches, no signs, no symptoms, nothing.
Yeah. And probably because it's not causing an awful lot of pressure at that point.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. But it irritated the brain to the point that you had the seizure.
Yeah.
And it's probably, when you think back to how you were prior to the big seizure, you probably had a few little seizures, didn't you?
I'd go to speak and I physically couldn't, and it wasn't as though I was nervous to speak.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I had this real weird wave over me that I felt weird. But what I knew was it would only last 30 seconds, 10 to 15, so I'd cough. And then I'd say, oh, sorry, I've got something stuck in my throat, and I'd crack on.
Yeah.
I've since learned they were mini seizures, but if I'd have gone to the doctor, I've always spoke to my GP about this, he was like, we would have never thought send you for a brain scan. We'd have just said, yeah, it's probably a bit of anxiety.
The literature around that time was that they'd maybe see one every 7 years or one in their lifetime as a GP. Yeah. Frontal lobe is where your speech areas are. Yeah. So you describing those seizures would fit with that picture.
Yeah, do you know what? I never knew that as well, neither. But on the second one, I was fine because I've been through it. I knew kind of what to expect, really. But obviously, it didn't go as quite to plan. But
the second one is more urgent. Yeah. And you don't always have the time to think like that. Yeah. When we planned this one,
6 weeks it took to get to surgery, which was a comfort really, because I thought, well, it's not that serious because I'd be in quicker. Yeah. But then it was probably the worst 6 weeks of my life because I didn't sleep.
Yeah. But obviously, when we had this one, we knew we needed to move quickly.
Bringing it all back to me now, isn't it? Yeah. It's a hard time, emotional time to get through that. I don't even know how I did it. And now, you'd have thought 7 years later, I'm sat here with you.
And you know what? I think to see you after, those 2 pictures, those 2 operations, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, to be here as well as you are, gives other people hope. Your foundation is doing such great work. It's really important because we see that there's a gap for some of the practical needs for patients and the rehab that you're providing. And it's almost like we need somebody to pull that together to bridge that gap.
Half the battle is being positive. Yeah. And switching that, flipping that switch is, be low like I was. I know my process. I go low, I get annoyed, I get angry, I cry, but you need to do that because it's a negative emotion that you need to get out. And then I flip the switch to being positive.
But I think one of the real gaps is psychological support. You've just described, how you work and your process. There's so many people out there who don't know that process and find themselves in that black hole and can't get out of it. And that might be, they might not have the resources to be able to do that. Then that shows the inequity of the society that we live in, and I think that your foundation is going to help to bridge some of that.